So this debate has been going on for a while now between The Last of Us fans and Resident Evil fans. Who would win between these two titular main characters? Let's briefly go over their respective abilities. Joel Miller is a survivor of the Cordyceps brain infection outbreak in The Last of Us series. As a hardened survivor of the apocalypse, Joel is about as tough as they come, displaying well above average human strength and endurance, with seemingly high pain tolerance. He, much like Ellie, has received and survived injuries that will normally incapacitate your average human, such as falling from great heights. Guess he must be best friends with Lara Croft. In addition to just raw physical strength, Joel displays a good level of dexterity in hand-to-hand combat, resulting to a brawling style of fist-fighting and attacks such as chokeholds to subdue human opponents, and he was often seen overpowering other characters in the series. This is surprising because he's never had any actual combat training as far as I'm aware. Maybe he saw a couple of YouTube instructionals, that's about it. This certainly explains the lack of finesse in his fighting style, as he is a brawler and he fights dirty, using an aggressive, highly physical style of combat rather than a technical one. He's also sometimes seen unaliving dogs in the most overkill way possible, but we shall not talk about that. It is worth noting that Joel cannot overwhelm non-human enemies with sheer physical strength alone. However, his proficiency with blades such as machetes allow him to quickly dispatch most of the infected without too much issue. Speaking of weapons, Joel is competent at wielding several different types of firearms, from handguns to rifles to even bows and arrows. He's obviously no John Wick, but he's good enough to get the job done in most scenarios. But if you think Joel Miller is impressive, wait till you hear about Leon Kennedy, because oh boy, this 5'10" blonde demon is more than just a pretty boy. He lacks the rugged look of Joel, but don't let that fool you. He is a highly trained government agent specializing in taking down bioorganic weapons, or BOWs as they are known. He started out as a survivor of the 1998 Raccoon City destruction event and a rookie cop, but is now currently employed as a federal agent by the Division of Security Operations, or DSO, a counter-terrorism agency under direct presidential command of the United States. He has undergone several years of rigorous training to become the agent that he is. Now, if you're already familiar with the over-the-top ridiculousness of the Resident Evil universe, you should already know that Leon's physical capabilities is basically on Batman levels of insanity. Not only is he strong, but he is literally considered to be in peak human condition. Now, if you know anything about comic books and power scaling, you will know that peak human condition is basically just a code word for he has superpowers but we can't say. This guy possesses low-level superhuman strength essentially. He's strong enough to tussle and win against plaga-infected humans with enhanced strength, and he can literally kill people by kicking them in the head. Check out this scene where he's spinning back heals this guy's head damn near clean off. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been doing martial arts for quite some time now, and I have never seen anybody kick someone so hard that their head is permanently fixed backwards. Aside from ludicrous feats of strength that should be impossible for a human being, he possesses an insane amount of durability as well, being able to survive anything that will either paralyze or straight up kill a person, such as being thrown against a stone pillar by a super tyrant. While his speed is questionable to say the least, as he, along with the rest of the Resident Evil cast, seem incapable of running beyond casual jogging speed. Despite this, however, he still possesses enough coordination and agility to at least match that of the Last of Us characters. Much like Joel Miller, Leon Kennedy is an expert at using many weapons. The difference is that unlike Joel, Leon has been formally trained in a militaristic fashion. He's adept at using firearms such as handguns, shotguns, and sniper rifles. However, he is also capable of using weapons that Joel has never been seen using. Much heavier weapons such as grenade launchers and anti-tank rocket launchers. So not only is he more physically capable than Joel, but he also has a much more expansive arsenal. Not that this matters that much, because we will only be giving each of them their default loadouts. So, now that we've listed their abilities, and assuming that they both got their default loadouts, who would actually win in a fight? My verdict is Leon Scott Kennedy. In fact, I do not think it will be close. Joel Miller might be a tough son of a gun, but at the end of the day, that's just what he is. That's what he, along with the other survivors of the Last of Us series, are. Just really tough human beings who have learned how to scrape and survive from experience. They are not on the same level as Leon, who is essentially a highly trained assassin almost, someone who has had years of experience specifically combating BOWs. Not for the purpose of survival, but for the sole purpose of taking them down. Not only does Leon have more impressive feats of strength, but Leon has a more impressive resume as well when it comes to the enemies he's taken down. While the infected individuals of the Cordyceps are formidable indeed, they do not compare to the repertoire of enemies that Leon has faced. Regular infected individuals who seem to possess only average human strength and the more powerful variants such as the Bloater and the Rat Kings that Joel struggled with, they will barely stand a chance against Leon, who has defeated not only more physically powerful enemies, but those that retain near human level intellect as well. The Last of Us' most powerful enemies are physically strong and some of them do have special abilities such as spore bombs, however they will get completely destroyed by Resident Evil's bosses. Here are some examples of Resident Evil bosses that Leon has taken down that will decimate a Rat King from The Last of Us. The constantly regenerating and mutating G-Virus that grew to enormous proportions, far greater than any Rat King. The El Gigante, which makes the bloaters look like the Teletubbies in comparison. And even the giant super tyrants with strength and intelligence far exceeding that of a Rat King. Heck, even the non-boss enemies will give The Last of Us cast a runner for their money. Leon has defeated the likes of Regenerators, which are basically immortal beings unless you hit them in the right spots. He's taken down Gyarados, which are just superhumans with claws, and even the giant lake monsters will fuck up most of the Last of Us enemies. Just remember, while the Last of Us characters are just survivors of an infection outbreak who's just trying to get away, Leon is trained to go into battle with these bioorganic threats and come out on top. He's taken down entire secret organizations and whatnot. He's on a completely different level. This isn't a knock on Joel Miller or anything. In fact, I believe objectively speaking, he's actually the better written character. But when it comes to a fight between these two, it isn't even fair. Joel is about as tough as a human being can be, but this mofo Leon isn't even human to begin with. Joel's abilities are still confined to the physics of the real world and has a decent amount of realism to them. But Leon's feats literally border on the realm of the superhuman, and because of that, Leon wins this one. Thank you and follow me for more similar content.